Hi, I'm Zach Watson. I'm a musician and educator from Melbourne, Australia. And today we're going to have a look at a really cool picked bass groove, something similar to maybe what U2 might have played back in the day, which is great for beginners to start working on their pick technique and their time. For starters, we're tuned down to E flat for this groove. So that is E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat, so just a half step down. And what we're going to do is the chords in this groove go between an A and a D. So this area here is really going to be our home base. So let's break this groove down. We'll go step by step and we'll go from there. The first part of this groove goes between A and G and pretty much uses straight eighth notes, and it goes something like this: 1 and 2 and. So let me slow that down for you. A, G, A. 1 and 2 and. Now, the next bit of this groove, we're going to jump up and we're going to get the C on 3rd fret of our A string. And that's going to go. So that whole thing again. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's the first part. Now the second part, we're going to start with a very quick hammer on from the 3rd fret of the A string onto the 5th fret. See how quick that is? It's not really enough to hear the C and the D as separate notes. It's literally just a... So, let's do that again. So let's look at the next part of this. So we're going to start with a hammer on from the 3rd fret of the A string onto the 5th fret. And then we're going to do a very similar pattern to what we were doing going from the A to the G. So it's going to go D... hammer, 1 and 2 and. Last part of this, and 3 and. So the whole groove is going to go like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And we're literally going to stay with that throughout the whole track. A quick note on playing with a pick. So one of the things that I find really helpful when I'm playing with a pick, to kind of sometimes getting through the strings when you're playing with a pick can be a little bit tricky. And one thing that I try and do, if I edit this so that you can see it, is I actually play with my pick on an angle. So rather than coming at it kind of perpendicular and having to force my way through, I actually come at it with the pick at a 45-degree angle to the string. Now you do get a little scratching noise, but honestly, when you're playing through an amp and you're playing with a band, you don't even notice that. You only really hear it in isolation. So it's the difference between, which can sound a little bit pokey and plonky, versus just putting that pick on an angle. So that should help you not get stuck up on the strings. Let's go through this groove one more time from the start. So starting on our A, 1 and 2 and, onto the next bit, hammer, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can literally stay on this groove for the whole track and it's going to sound great. I hope you have some fun playing this groove. If you want to download the full tab and the backing track, you can do so on my Patreon page. It helps support this channel and keeps me making content. The link is in the bio. Have fun practicing. I'll see you next time.